Deep down, you may still be that same great kid you used to be. But it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
right, guys, we're gonna get this thing started here. We're gonna get this whole thing started here. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are well. Super excited to get this whole thing rocking, guys. Super excited to get this whole thing rocking. All right, guys, let's get this going, guys. Let's get this rocking. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are feeling good. So let's go over the markets here. Let's see what's happening both on a fundamental level, and then what we'll see is we'll check out what's happening this week here. It's going to be a little bit of a slower month, okay, guys? I'll just be honest with you. Obviously now we're entering the month of, May. I mean, not May. What am I saying? We're entering the month of July. So July tends to be, technically, tends to be one of the worst months for trading. June and July. And not because it's just a bad month. It's just because it's slow. But I look at this as a great thing. And the reason why is because if it is a slow month, it gives us the advantage. The reason it gives us an advantage is because it preps us, okay, for a really good month because the bottom comes in July usually, and it preps us for a really good following month where trading volume tends to skyrocket, right? So I'm excited here. Let's see how this all goes. Give me 1 second, guys, as I am doing this here. Give me 1 second. I am setting something up here. I'm looking at some fundamental tools here so I can see what's happening right now in the markets. Okay, we had an Italian bank holiday today. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let's look at what else is going to be happening this week. End of the month, nothing wild, but we do have a big news event. Warsh is speaking. Okay, with Warsh speaking, you should see some type of movement here. ISM manufacturing PMI is coming out worse than expected. This should actually boost markets up since inflation, okay, has been affecting markets here for a bit. This should actually move, okay, markets to the upside. So this would be good news for Wednesday if it comes out lower than expected, how we're looking at it right now, okay? Let's look at Thursday. Non-farm employment change. Okay. Interesting. Usually this comes out Friday. This Friday we have a bank holiday. It's the day before July 4th. So I find it super interesting that we have NFP here. Right? So NFP is going to be on Thursday. And what's the NFP news report? Worse than expected. So that should actually boost markets up. Because we are fearing inflation. If the market is fearing inflation, we should see this boost markets to the upside, right? second, guys. Checking out a couple things here right now. Give me 1 second, guys. I am checking a couple like macro tools here that we can use for, I want to see what's happening here with markets and what's causing markets. Obviously, markets are moving to the upside here, so I'm trying to see some other stuff here. Let's go to trade desk real quick. I don't want to look at Euro. I want to look at, let's look at, obviously, guys, I'm using Trade DNA. I want to look at something in particular here with SPX. That's what I want to look for. There we go. Friday's candle. We'll see how it reads it. Jolt's job opening here on Friday. Beat earnings. Okay, Micron beat earnings, boosting broader tech sentiment overnight. Buffett contrarian warning circulated amid valuations. Tech ETF strength, VGT up 22% year to date. All right, Era's crash, 48% collapse on patent death. IP lawsuit. Okay. Is that what made markets move to the upside here? Let's look at even markets today. As it's aggregating data, let's look at what's happening. SpaceX, Russell, and NASDAQ triggers passive fund buying pressure. Okay. Milestone, Trump criticized Fed chair for not cutting rates, signaling policy tension. That happened at 8 a.m. and it made markets skyrocket. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Plan a trade. Let's look at COTs today. COTs are still short for today. Palantir stock is up. Okay, so let's look at fundamentals here. This is really what I want to take a look at here. Inflation is surging. Here's how that might affect the stock market in 2026. AI companies are spending billions before they can even make... Okay, let's look at the inflation reports if that's what they're saying here. Let's look at this here. I only want to look at high and I only want to look at USD. Tomorrow we have the Jolt's job opening here. That's big. I didn't even see that on Forex Factory, did I? Or did I skip over? I could barely see it on Forex. Wow. Jolt's job opening is considered that's considered high impact. Why did they change that? Jolt's used to be a high impact news. Why did they change that into a medium impact news? It's weird. Jolt's job openings used to be a red high impact news folder. That's super weird. The expectation is lower than expected. Based on us having an inflation fearing sentiment, this would make markets go up to the upside. Okay. Consumer confidence, this would be bearish. We want consumer confidence to be low, so then it gives us a reason to cut rates. Okay, guys? So this is actually really bullish. Let's look at some other news here. ISM manufacturing PMI this week, 54. Because we're in an inflation fearing sentiment again, this would make markets bearish. So if we do come out at 53 here with ISM manufacturing PMI on Wednesday at 10 a.m., markets, and it's worse than expected, it would make markets bullish this week if we still fear inflation. We don't want good news because then it's going to make the market go down. So in this, obviously, sentiment, bad news is good for the market, good news is bad for the market. So this good news right here is actually bad for the market. Okay, let's look at unemployment rate here, 4.3%. Now I'm very shocked here because this is a very bad report. 110 is really bad. I'm shocked because I'm curious to see what will end up happening to markets specifically on July 2nd, because the news is so bad. This news is terrible here. Very, very bad. 110, terrible news. Right? But because we're in an inflation fearing sentiment, the markets could react very bullish to that. Still, COTs are showing that there are more orders that are bearish than bullish right now. I'm very curious about metals here, because net positions are starting to stack on gold and crypto. There's not a single net position here that we could see. Let's see if any rate changes in the next 30 days. In the next 30 days, we're still looking to hold. Let's look at the actual chances of a basis point or a hike in September is still pretty high. Okay. Okay. All right, now let's take a look at markets here. I have an idea of what's going to happen. I'm expecting a large, wow, look at that. Markets literally hit my liquidity zone here of targets. Let's look at where it's going to, wow, fuck. Guys. The market is really fucked. Sorry for my swear words here, but the market is really, really screwed up right now. Okay, and this is going to be the main reason why. This right here. You see that right there? We just swiped liquidity. But the biggest thing that I'm afraid of here is this right here. This right here is a daily zone on the day. So if you have a break of structure on the daily, which we do, that could only mean one thing. Dixie's going to continue on this upwards trend. And if you see Dixie continue on this upward trend, that means we're probably headed towards more market bleeding. The bleeding is not done yet. Dixie's probably going to go to where I predicted this zone here, 102. The 102 500 level. That would mean that at least on an external structure level, this right here are all buys. Now, what I do believe is we are in order flow. Okay. We do have order flow coming, which means that we are going to mitigate here, or swipe liquidity first and then skyrocket. That's what you're going to experience. NFP might change sentiment. There's a huge possibility, but long-term, markets are long-term bearish. Okay, that's just the reality. Markets are long-term bearish. What does that mean? For the month of July, we're probably going to go down. Okay, let's look at, I want to look at something here. I want to take a look at SPX seasonalities. I definitely do. I think it's very important that we take a look at this. Yeah, usually you have a big pullback for July, and SPX tends to bottom out end of June and July starts to be somewhat bullish here. The problem with this is Dixie is so bullish. The SPX can't be bullish if Dixie is super bullish. It's super. SPX can't be bullish if Dixie's super bullish. That's the problem that we're having. The problem that we're facing. So what is my expectations here? What am I still looking at? Right now we're compressing. Price is compressing a lot more. I was very bearish the week before and the week before that. The one thing I'm a little hesitant on, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because I was very bearish and we've been going down. Been right on these calls. The one thing I'm a little hesitant, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't like this because this is a break of structure, at least on this 1 hour impulse move to this lower low, right? This is a small break of structure. I do want to see how we react here because it's not the end of the world, but this is more of like an internal break of structure here. And I don't like it, right? Because look at this here. At the end of the day, this is the impulse move. This is the correction. This is the impulse move. This is the correction. This is the impulse move. See that? 1, 2, 3. This right here is that break of structure that could lead us into coming back up to these highs, right? So because of that, I just want to be a bit careful here, because if that ends up happening, then I need to be at least somewhat precautious here about that, right? So what am I looking for? Potentially looking at price to come here or to mitigate that order block right here. You see that? I want to pay attention to it, but I also won't be afraid at buying this. I won't be afraid at potentially buying this tomorrow. Why would I not be afraid of that? It looks overextended for that buy. So I'd want to wait, but a good zone would be like right here for a buy. For a sell would be right here. This order block. These two order blocks. Primarily, what am I in favor? I'm in favor of sells because of Dixie, but also I'm not stupid to know that volume that Dixie needs to retrace. So that means SPX will come up right here, give us a re-entry right here, and then probably sell off. Okay. If it doesn't do that beforehand, it will come downward, come into this zone, and then skyrocket. And if that's what my belief is with that, I have the same belief with the Dow Jones here. I have the same belief with NAS. Very similar belief. Right? I have the same belief with Russell. NAS, I've been more accurate on sells here. I've been looking for more sell zones. One was right here, and the other one, obviously this one was an old one. NAS looks more of a sell than a buy. So does US 30. Actually looks a little bit more bullish, but looks like a pullback. Just tech itself, just in general, is really pushing and leading the charge here. Russell in itself is also more bullish than bearish. gives you an idea for what's going to happen next with futures. Let's look at gold here. Gold volatility continues to come downward. It has broken structure though, so that means over time we are going to go to the upside. Look at the 10-year yield. 10-year yields finally came to the zone that I've talked about here. We could see some bullish upward movement from it right here at this zone. So we could definitely see that. You're going to want to watch out for that for sure. Look at let's look at gold. So I was looking for potential. So I did on our last call, I think it was with our students, or I'm pretty sure it was with the VIP students. I talked about gold coming downward and us looking for potential long-term swings. Gold seasonality, just in general here, tends to be very, very bullish. So on a seasonal perspective here, I really do want to start buying. Right? Like on this seasonality perspective, gold is ridiculously bullish in July. So the buy of the year is coming. The buy of the year is coming. And my opinion here is this is going to be the largest pullback we'll see with gold for a while. Now, what I do believe is there is a possibility, very slight possibility, we come here to 3,200 to 3,400. There is a huge possibility that's possible, but then we will move. This is gold's largest pullback. Now, I do want to also be aware here that this weekly candle, if this breaks the weekly candle, then my whole perception is going to change on gold, because then my opinion would be that gold would probably come down at least to this zone here, right? But if we hold this on the weekly and we get a wick this week here to these zones and a swipe of liquidity here, okay, I personally will start buying gold, because I believe we'd hit the low of the month, or of, most importantly, the year, right? So my opinion here is see how price reacts at this particular zone. If we get a swipe of liquidity, that would be great. As long as we don't close the weekly, if we get a huge swipe, we could be catching the trade of the century. And I'd probably ride this up for 6 figures. So just be patient. I'm still bearish on gold, but I'm getting ready to start becoming bullish. And NFP might be that perfect time where things switch up. We see that movement happen. So be very wary. I'm selling gold still, but I'm looking for that turnaround sometime here soon. Okay. USD CAD continues to be bullish here. Nothing too crazy. I haven't traded GU in a very long time, and I don't plan on it. Bitcoin, I'm still in my nasty sells as it continues to head downward. Okay, and that re-entry of 65 definitely hit. We're going to continue to keep moving downward with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to go to 43K. I plan on making at least 15 to 20,000 on these sells. And everything else looks good, guys. So I'm excited. We are going to be trading tomorrow morning, guys. So we will see how everything runs. But the market's been a little bit kind of slow this week. Let's see how it runs as we end out June and start July.